All right, guys, we're making pretty much back-to-back videos here, but we've just been crushing it with trades recently, so I have a lot to break down for you guys. In this particular video, we're going to be talking about Meta. I'm up about $8,000 at the time this video is being recorded. I'll put the screenshot up right now, but this was a very controversial move in a lot of ways. So I want to break down, why I took this trade, kind of the technical and fundamental analysis of this, so you guys can understand, how I'm consistently positioning myself in trades before they have these massive moves. So I'll start with the technicals. I don't really want to go too deep into the fundamentals, but overall, from a technical perspective, we are way off our all-time highs, as you can see on Meta. Like, this is where our all-time highs were at 796, almost 800, and to where I bought the shares at, that is a almost 30% drop. That is absolutely massive for a company like Meta. Coming back to the 4 hour, taking a look at this from a technical perspective, I can see Meta absolutely crashing here from April of this year all the way down. Not exactly a rebound in sight. And this is when I started getting very interested in it, because when we're 30% off one of the Mag 7 stocks from its all-time highs, this is a buying opportunity for me. You can see the last time we were at this low was in March of 2026, and even prior before that, you can see like the last time we were at these levels was like April 2025. So this is a massive drop off from its all-time highs. So in a case like this, even my indicator is tagging oversold at this level. You can see once we tagged oversold, we had a good rally. So coming back to this level, either Meta is going to be entering a massive bear cycle, or this is a point where we could actually find that reversal point. So as per my strategy on a swing trade like this, I'm not dumping the entire amount in at one point. Usually in a case like Meta, when we're not touching these lows since like 2025, I don't mind putting up more of the capital. But I will say this is something where I would have continued buying in if we continued down. Obviously, we'd create support levels below here. And if we continue to do so, this is where I would actually pick up and accumulate more shares. So first thing, obviously, for me is, we can't be near all-time highs. And in a case like Meta, when I was looking at it, it's like 30% off its all-time highs. The second thing is I want it to be at least 10 to 15% off its most recent high. So this would be the most recent high before I got in on June 12th. And once I jumped in with the shares, you can see we were about 11% lower. So 11% is more of a controlled pullback, because when you look at broader market structure, on a higher time frame, we look something like this. But you have to remember, on a lower time frame, that looks something like this. So I'm trying to find this point right here, and that's going to be somewhere in here. So this is why I like to take these style of trades where we're using the most recent high to find that controlled pullback. So once I've identified that, this is where I bought the shares at. There was a support level here. Obviously, it's not here anymore since, I still have current price action up. But this is where support level was initially. And you can see like from here, this is where we'd find that level of support. And this is where I bought it at. You can see buyers stepping in immediately after. Right here, we kind of bounced and jumped back up to 605 from the low of 557 before we just put in a lower low here down to 540. Now, this is one of those things where you have to be able to sustain drawdown. If I actually measure this out, I would have only seen about 5% drawdown. And in a swing trade, usually I don't like seeing any more than 5%. If I'm over 5% in drawdown on a regular swing trade, that's not the Magnificent Seven. That's when I'll usually clip the trade and start kind of looking for a re-entry. But for Meta, this was me building a longer term position, because when a stock is, again, 30% off its all-time highs, especially being one of the Mag 7 stocks, this is what I'm looking to accumulate and build a position, not just trade it. And again, this is not done with margin. This is done with actual shares. Now, in a case like this, I had 80 shares on the line here. And unfortunately, if I could just have done like 20 more, I could have sold a put at this level and been paid for this entry. But I digress. That's a whole other thing going on there. So first of all, I want to see us obviously 10 to 15% off the most recent high for the entry, tapping into a key level of support, which we got. There's 11% right there from where entry was, tapping into the key level of support, which was right here. And then now we are simply going to confirm a few other things on the fundamental perspective. Obviously, Meta has one of the best ad businesses in the world. Not to mention they have one of the biggest user bases in the world. And to me, they're actually using Meta like AI properly. Also, not to mention, if we go to the headlines here, you can see let me see if I can find it. A lot of backlash, I will say. but specifically Meta AI was one thing. Yeah, here, the Meta's $9 billion infrastructure bet cloud ambitions. This is what I was looking at. They're turning basically data centers into like people, other companies can like rent them and use them. So that's what I liked about it. They're kind of pivoting away from like the useless AI and actually using it properly. And that was the biggest catalyst for me from the fundamental perspective. So having a big catalyst like this makes the most sense, because the biggest part about this is this 200-day SMA. If we are trading below this, that does not mean the bullish trend is still intact. If we are trading above it, that means we are essentially bullish. If we're trading below it, the conviction has to be a lot higher. And as you see, Meta's been trading below it for a while now. So overall, for me, seeing this, my fundamentals have to be rock solid on this for taking a trade below this. So from a fundamental perspective, I was very, very happy with this trade. Obviously, that's the aspect where you guys have to do your homework. I also want to mention that when I take trades like this, like I'm happy to take on the risk of these trades because I want to build long-term positions. These are companies that I truly believe in. So if I'm sustaining some drawdown on this, I'm not exactly kicking myself. I'm not losing my mind. I'm happy to sustain drawdown. And if it comes down even lower, that's where I'm saying, yo, like I will buy more at these levels. So from a fundamental perspective, we were pretty good on this. This was this Meta AI announcement right here that we had on July 1st. Obviously massive impulse. This is where I started to see some profit on these shares. I wasn't aiming to sell at this area. I had six, like these highs right here, 643 marked out, where I was like, you know what, I'll take profit. I'll take some partials on there. This was yesterday where I got the notification overnight trading hours that we had hit this level, and then we flew all the way to 675, which is just before this massive jump down on this candle. So this was a good point for me to take some partials, and as you can see, that worked out perfectly. We wicked it, kind of rejected it a little bit, but for the most part, I have all my shares intact, and I do want to ride this back to all-time highs. This is going to be a much longer play for me, but this is one of those things where I'm not in any rush to be taking the entirety of my profits out. There's no need, especially when we're this low. If anything, for me, like if we came back lower again and retested these support levels, this would honestly be like an area where I would look to get back in, depending on how the fundamentals are, if that were to happen. Obviously, that's not financial advice. That is me just, personally how I interpret this and how I feel about the stock overall. So absolutely insane, way to start end the week, I should say. I wasn't very lucky with my day trading this week. I don't like attributing anything to luck, but this was a very unlucky week for me. So I'm very happy that we've been crushing on the option selling side of things. This will probably go live after my FCX video, which I haven't posted yet. So I will post that, maybe like today, July 10th, and then this maybe go live on the weekend. So as you can see, I made the breakdown on FCX. We were absolutely crushing it. Jumped right off where my position was, or where my put was sold at. And maybe I'll make another breakdown on IREN. I don't know why there's two shares here, but I'll make another breakdown on IREN. And I'll show you guys how I'm actually using this as like another cash cow move. I think I already made a video on it, but specifically, I'm doing some really funky stuff with it. So I would love to show you guys how I'm actually rocking that. But overall, in terms of Meta, this is when no one believed in it. This is when I'm trying to position myself, because by the time all this hype comes in and everyone's starting to buy it, it's already too late. Meta shares were up about 19% today, as of today, I should say. And obviously this is because, I had the conviction all the way down here at this 570 level to be jumping into this trade, and riding it all the way up and doing my homework properly. So, I'll start making more breakdowns for you guys. You can kind of start seeing my thought process behind these like swing trades. I love swing trading the Mag 7 stocks specifically, but as you can see, Apple actually had a massive swing trade. This is where we jumped in for a bunch of shares and we bounced right off of it and we're back all the way up. So, leave a comment if you guys have any questions. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and we'll see you guys in the next one.